welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street, starting from the benchmark index moves to sectoral action and all the stocks that are buzzing the most in trade, especially the chemicals and the fertilizer space. What is really behind the sharp move here? Some of the stocks are also recording double-digit returns on an intraday basis today. Are there any opportunities that you should invest in afresh? All of that coming up, and we will be discussing all of this with an expert. But first, a quick check on how the benchmark indices have kick-started the last half an hour of trade for today's trading session. The Sensex has flattish to negative, while the Nifty is just flat at 19,315, currently just about 9.5 points up in trade. When we talk about the broader markets, they are still doing better. The mid-cap and the small-cap 100 indices still looking at some gains coming in. 0.5% of gains for the small-cap 100 index, and the Nifty mid-cap 100 index is up by just 0.3% in trade today. Which are the sectors that are doing well? You're actually seeing completely mixed trade now, with half of the sectoral indices in the green, while rest of them have slipped into the red. It's the Nifty Realty Index that's been building onto the gains right from the word go. In the opening session, we did see realty stocks buzzing in trade, and you can actually see a very strong move coming in, and they've maintained that gain, through the trading session, 1.75% higher for the Nifty Realty today. Metals follow next with a 1.2% surge. The auto space and the consumer durable space is also picking up well today. The IT stocks are also contributing to the gains today. Financial services, slight gains coming in on that one, but it's the private banks, PSU banks and the overall Nifty bank index that slipped into the red, and therefore you can see pressure building up and the market's not really getting support from the heaviest weighted index, that's Nifty Bank. So that's as far as the major indices are concerned. On the top gainers front, you do see Adani Group shares buzzing in action today. 1.2% higher for Adani Enterprises, Adani Ports up by 2%. Asian Paints seeing some gains coming in. Bajaj Auto, Bajaj Finserv and Bajaj Finance. So it's the Bajaj Group stocks that are doing very well in trade today, and BPCL also slightly up in trade. On the downside, however, you do see Apollo Hospitals, Axis Bank, Bharti Airtel and Dr. Reddy's down in trade in today's trading action as well. However, again, like I pointed out, it's the chemicals and the fertilizer space, and we'll get down to the details of which are the stocks that are buzzing in action. But let's welcome our guest on the show. Mr. Mandar Jamsandekar joins in. He's the director at Precision Technical Analysis. Mr. Jamsandekar, welcome to the show on Business Today TV. I want to kickstart by understanding from you your own sense on the markets. Clearly, the Nifty Bank, the two indices that have been very, very in a consolidative mode, in a range-bound trade for many sessions now. Nothing exciting really happening there, and of course we are moving towards the August F&O expiry now. What would you advise investors to do now?
Sakshi, good afternoon and thank you for having me on your show. Basically, I believe that the market right now is range bound, and I expect the market to stay in this range for the next two to 3 weeks. So at least till mid of September, I expect the indices to trade in this range itself. So for the Nifty, the support is at around 19,250, 19,300 levels, and the resistance comes in at around 19,500, 600 levels. So a 300-point range for the Nifty is what I expect. And for the Bank Nifty, it's around 43,500, which is the support, and resistance comes around 44,500 to 45,000. So around a 1,500-point range for the Bank Nifty. So very narrow range for both the leading indices, but yes, I believe we should see this indecision going on for not only this week, but I expect this to continue till mid of September.
Okay, till mid of September, it might be a lackluster trade on the indices. But then what would be your advice to investors at this point in time? Are there any particular sectors or themes that you're getting bullish on where investors should keep their focus now?
Sakshi, actually the market, say for example, now today we have seen chemicals stocks move up. So it's going to be a sector rotation kind of thing which is going to happen. But the interest is going to be mid-cap and small-cap stocks. So the interest is going to remain out of in stocks which are out of the index. Most of the index stocks are going to continue their consolidation that they are witnessing right now. So plenty of stocks which are witnessing a good kind of buying. So you could see interest in rail related stocks, you could see infrastructure stocks, there are chemical stocks, there are realty stocks. So plenty of stocks which are witnessing interest as we move forward. So this sector rotation is going to keep on happening, and it's not one sector which we can focus on for at least for the next few days. It's going to be a mix of sectors which are going to witness this kind of buying bouts.
Fair enough. Mandar, but you rightly pointed out it's the chemical space that is attracting our attention, and right when the markets were in pre-open and even before that, on Business Today TV, we had talked about how this could really emerge as a theme today, the chemicals and the fertilizer space. We were talking about stocks like Tata Chemicals even before the pre-open hit in trade. And after that, we were looking at stocks like, say, Deepak Nitrite, which are still among the top F&O gainers in trade today, especially stocks like GNFC that we had mentioned before the markets had opened as well. And that stock is the top gainer in the chemical space in the F&O basket. Long built-up happening on GNFC, on Deepak Nitrite, on Tata Chemicals, as well as Atul Limited. You're looking at Chambal Fertilizers. All of these stocks are really buzzing in trade. Even a lot of UPL, Coromandel, PI Industries, all of these stocks in fact are flying away in trade today. Your own thoughts on the kind of move that we are seeing, on charts, how does the chemical space really look like? You've been talking about how sectoral rotation has been taking place. Is this the theme that may build on from today's gains?
Sakshi, no, as I said, the sector rotation is going to continue. So, say, for example, now if you look at a stock like Tata Chemicals, yes, we are witnessing a strong kind of an up move today, 3% up. But when you look at the chart, the stock still trades below a crucial resistance. So, 1080 is an important resistance for the stock, and it's still trading below that. So, for the last few months, the stock has been trading more or less flat around these levels of 1000. So it moves above 1000, it then goes below this level of 1000. So it's trading around that pivot level of 1000 for the last few months. It needs to give us a strong kind of a breakout at these resistance at around 1082, after which a move can surely start. But right now it's trading below resistance. Similar is the case with Atul. Atul also is trading below resistance at around 7250. So a mixed kind of a view. If you look at Alkali, then that also is trading below resistance at around 110, 112. Yes, Deepak Nitrate surely looking good on the short-term charts. Quite possibly this move can continue. Not a big kind of a move, but yes, looking at the strong volumes that it trades today and the strong kind of an upside that it has witnessed, a 5% upside from current levels is quite possible. So could move higher to levels of 2250, 2260. That is quite possible. So mixed kind of a view. In case of Tata Chemicals, 1082 is a level which one needs to watch, after which we can see a sustained kind of an up move in Tata Chemicals. And the second stock, Deepak Nitrate, we can see a short-term up move in that stock. A 5% upside from current levels is possible.
Okay, let me take your view on GHCL. Double-digit return on this stock today, 593, 594 odd levels kind of being seen. A very, very strong move coming in from this basket. In the last 5 days alone, the stock has moved 16 odd percent. If we look at the last 1 month move, it's almost 12% odd. Even on a, it's just moved in this last 5 days odd largely, because if we see the last 6 months or Y to date move also, it's been rather 15% odd only, and largely it's been the last 5 days that the stock has really moved up. Can GHCL be considered a buy despite the double-digit return move today?
Yeah, see, it's surely broken past short-term resistances around levels of 2975, 2980. So that's a positive. And till the time it trades above this level, an up move is surely possible to levels of 3200. So approx 10% kind of an upside from current levels is possible. So if somebody is initiating a long trade, then the stop loss needs to be at 2950. With a stop loss at 2950 for an upside target of 3200, this trade looks possible in this stock.
Okay. Apart from this, RCF, Rashtriya Chemicals and Fertilizers, the stock is not just up by about 3 or 4 odd percent today, but in the last 6 months, 30 odd percent of a surge is what we've already seen. A small ticket stock, and therefore there is more interest in this stock from the chemicals basket. 126 rupees at this level. RCF, how does it look to you?
See, RCF looks interesting on the short term as well as the long term charts. On the short term charts, basically, though it's moving up, it's already generated a breakout a few days back. So last week itself, it generated a breakout. It had a resistance at around levels of 119, 120. And once the stock has moved above this, it's witnessing that buying interest come to that stock. So upside from current levels, I think the stock can move to levels of 140 in the next few days. That is quite possible. So if one has a long position in this stock, or if one decides to get into a fresh trade, then the stop loss has to be at 117. With a stop loss at 117, one can go long. Upsides of 140 in the next few days is quite possible.
Okay, one more stock from this basket and then we will move on to the other stocks. Himadri Specialty Chemicals, the stock is up 13% at 52-week high levels today to 26 odd levels. Himadri Specialty 223 currently, 12% up in trade today, but it did see the day's high and the 52-week high of 229 in trade today. Your thoughts, sir?
Sakshi, this stock makes a life high today, 224. See, at current levels, this stock is an avoid for fresh buying. But if somebody is holding, then I would suggest doing partial profit booking at these levels, because if you look at in the last 1 month itself, the stock has witnessed a very strong kind of an up move. So from levels of 140, the stock has moved up to current levels of 224. So that's an amazing kind of return that the stock has generated in a month. And normally, whenever you see this kind of a strong move in a very short time period, normally the price tends to get into a consolidation and a correction is quite possible. So at these levels, if somebody is holding, at least partial profit booking is something which one needs to get into. And the rest of the position can be held with a stop loss at 188. That's an important stop loss for the stock. But in case of fresh entry, I think this is an avoid. We need to wait for a consolidation in the stock and then maybe we can do a review.
Okay. Let's move on from the chemical space. I now want to draw your attention to the gems and jewelry space. We had been seeing Kalyan Jewelers up in action throughout the day's trade today, 3.3% higher, at 227 rupees odd for Kalyan Jewelers. It's still up by about 3.3%. But Vaibhav Global is a more interesting stock again from this basket. The stock is up in double digits today. We've already seen a surge of 12.5% in trade today. And apart from this, if we look at some historical gains, 1 month move has been 28% odd. Last 3 months odd move on Vaibhav Global has been 46% odd. And in the last 5 years, of course, it's 212% up in trade. So for both the near term to medium term and the long term investors are actually sitting on good profits on this stock. From the gems and jewelry basket, do you look at any of these stocks?
Sakshi, if rightly put it, see, Vaibhav Global looks interesting, and if you look at a slightly longer time period, then say, for example, if you look at the last 3-year chart, then you'll find that initially first from 2020 to 2021, we had an up move from 150. The stock went up to levels of 1050. That was a phenomenal kind of return that the stock generated. But then the next 1 year from 21 to 22, the stock witnessed a downfall and it came down to levels of 300 or below 300 levels. And for the last 1 year, the stock has been consolidating, had been creating a base around the levels of 300, went up to 350, 400, used to face resistance, fall down again. And today, the stock has managed to break past all these short-term resistances. So I think after witnessing a strong correction downwards from 1050 to 300, and after having gone through a sideways kind of consolidation, the stock is now starting a fresh up move. So maybe the next few days, we should see a strong kind of an up move in this stock. So yes, today the stock is up, no doubt about it, to 12.5%, 13% up today. A small correction in the next few days is quite possible. But yes, this one needs to be looking at this stock. One needs to accumulate this stock and all corrections. So downsides to 420 is what one needs to accumulate the stock in. The stop loss for this trade would be at around 390, and upsides, I believe, in the next few weeks, the stock should be able to move up to levels of 550, 600, 650. All these levels are possible in the next few weeks.
Okay, strong move also possible in the next few weeks to follow as well. A sharp 12.5% up move on Web of Global, currently trading at around 444. Well, many thanks, Mr. Jamsandekar, for being with us on the show and discussing all these stocks and sharing the strategies for all of these stocks that we've discussed in trade today. The markets have picked up pace as we inch closer. 15 minutes away from the day's close, 75 points higher on the Sensex, 65,068 currently. The Nifty is also inching closer to 19,350 odd mark right now, 37 points higher in trade. So 0.2% of a move coming in on the Nifty as we speak too. Where is this move really coming in from? Let's look at the heavyweight counters. Let's look at and some of the movers in trade as well. So Adani Ports currently on the top Nifty 50 gainers list. Hindalco, UPL, Adani Ports also up in trade. These are the big movers on the index right now. And when we talk about the contributors from the auto basket, it's Hero Moto and Bajaj Auto that's also up in trade. Metal space, very sharp, shining bright in trade today. Tata Steel, JSPL, you name it, all the stocks are up in trade. JSW Steel also. Life insurance companies picking up pace, 1.15% higher in trade right now as well. So the broader markets also picking up pace with the small cap 100 index now inching closer to its all-time high levels, 0.5% higher in trade too. And from the F&O basket, stocks like BHEL, Deepak Nitrite, Aarti Industries, Atul Limited, Indraprastha Gas definitely moving. So it's mostly the energy basket, commodities, metals, oil and gas, fertilizer. These are the kind of stocks that have been definitely the talk of the town in today's trading action too. We'll keep an eye out on all the stocks that have been buzzing in trade to help you understand which are the stocks that you should keep on your watch list and where should you be looking into invest now for more profitable trades too. Do stay tuned on to Business Today TV to catch all the updates from the world of business and stock markets, and also continue to engage with us on other social media platforms as well. Until then, many thanks for tuning in.